Hello and welcome to Big Bang Radio Spotlights. This is a show where we talk to independent artists from all around the world all about their music and their process for making it. I'm your host, Isaac Anderson, and today I get to sit down with the singer-songwriter Anne Eck. Without any further ado, here's the interview. And I do want to start at the beginning of your musical journey, and the first question I want to ask you is, what is your first musical memory?
My first musical memory, it's pretty difficult to say because I really grew up with a musical family, and for me it was quite normal to have instruments around me, just at my mother's house and my father's house, and we all making music together with my grandparents every Sunday. And so there was no experience, I remember, where I started an instrument or something. It was part of my daily life.
How exactly did you get started playing and writing music? I think that's the next thing I kind of want to know, because you said you had a musical family. Was it them that kind of encouraged you, or was this like, oh wow, really, I'm really into this. I really want to do something like this.
Yeah, I think I started piano when I was 6, and there was no interesting for other instruments. It was just the piano, and I started that when I was 6, and I wanted to be a singer, I think, very, very early. I think at the time I started with the piano and started with singing, I thought of, oh, that would be cool, and my bed was always a stage. So I sang the whole day. My mother, I think, went sometimes crazy, but yeah, they really supported me also. And my grandfather, he was, I think, like the genius in our family, because he taught himself over, I think, 13 instruments, all by himself. And so we played every Sunday, and he really asked me, oh, what did you learn the last week? What did you learn the last week? Which song do you play right now? And it was not pressure, but he was really interested in me and making music.
You're from Germany,
yeah.
And I believe you're from Nuremberg was the place that specifically you were from. How was the musical climate just in the area that you grew up in?
Yeah, I think Nuremberg is not a town where it's music all over the place, like Vienna. Vienna is, I think, the capital of classical music, but Nuremberg don't have such a huge musical landscape.
Heard that. Well, obviously you've been in the musical world for quite some time. I think your family being musical and you just having the passion and the curiosity to learn more about music and play music has really driven you to become an extremely talented songwriter and musician. But was there a moment in your mind that you can recall that you could be like, oh wow, I want to be, like, I'm going to be a musician, and not I want to be, I'm going to be. Like, was there like a turning point, or was it just never even a question?
No, there was such a situation where I started to think about becoming an artist. I had a long time the problem to name myself as an artist, because I really had troubles and also fear to go into this business and to fail. And so I started to study theater, film, and media science, also with music science, and it was all theoretical. There was no practical journey. And there was a situation, I worked for films and film productions, and I was on the set with my sheet, and I made all the stuff behind the scenes. And I was the Unity manager for a music video, and I saw the band playing and singing, and I was standing behind the camera, and I thought, okay, I'm working for a dream of another person. I want to live. So, and that was the situation. I started to think, okay, I am brave enough to go this way, or do I want to stand for always behind the camera? And that was the point I really dared to go outside and really to write my songs and to go into the music business.
I don't care about the nasty voice within me. I don't care whether you believe in me or not. Searching my whole life for the right path to take. Oh my, spreading wings and fly up high. You are strong enough, and you can go alone and go and go. Hello, my.
But I do want to talk about now your sound, because you have a very interesting, it's very like, you don't get to hear a whole lot of inspirational, uplifting, like pop music, kind of like poppy, rocky kind of thing. It's really nice, and it's really encouraging too. Your lyricism is very encouraging. Specifically about your sound, how did you go about developing that sound for the music that you put out right now? Do you consciously think, I want to make music like this? Or do you try not to bind yourself to any sort of genre and just make whatever you want and just put it out under your name?
Well, I think it's a process. And as much as you develop yourself personally, you also develop musically. And for me, the most important thing is when I write music that it touches myself and that I have joy, pure joy doing it. And I think to find the own style, how to sound yourself and how you want to express yourself. I wrote all my music on my piano. But you know, the sound what is heard on the radio is not the sound I make here when I'm sitting with my acoustic little e-piano. So the studio sound is much more, but which sound is this? And you have to find out with the producer and your band, and you have to figure out, okay, which instruments do I like? Do I like more the classical style and I want to have a huge orchestra? Do I like rough instruments like drums and guitar? And yeah, it's like somebody who planting trees. You have to figure out, and you have to find out. It's just a trial and error.
Wonderful, wonderful. And that was going to be kind of the next thing I want to ask. Who are some artists, and maybe what are some genres and just different musical ideologies or musical projects that you take inspiration from for your own music?
Yeah, so I think it's too different, because on the one hand, I like really singer-songwriter, and I really like the acoustic and very pure stuff. Like Fink, I don't know if you know him, or Damien Rice. It's all very reduced and very deep. But I also like Lady Gaga and Billie Eilish and Coldplay, because they have an attitude and something in their music what is really genius for me. I like Coldplay because it's all like a hymn and tribute for everything in life, and it's freedom and big. And Billie Eilish is I don't have to explain so much, because Billie Eilish is such a genius, you don't need words for that. And Lady Gaga is for me an inspiration, since I knew her since I'm a girl, and I really like her style and her attitude. And I think all artists have in common that they make music from very deep from their heart. That's something I really Love.
Like we talked a little earlier about the way your music sounds. I want to hop into your lyricism right now because it's very uplifting and it's very inspirational, and it's kind of like you have that really you can do it kind of thing. Almost like you said, a little bit of Chris Martin, Coldplay influence in there, but you really switch it up and make it your own thing. What is your songwriting process like? Do you tend to write more from a storytelling perspective, like crafting a fabricated story to tell a message, or do you try to tell honest stories from your own life and try to portray them in a way to try to say like maybe what's on your mind?
So mostly I write songs and they came up with a feeling of myself. So when I'm sad, I'm writing a sad song. When I'm in love, I'm writing a love song. when I'm when I'm in pain, I write a song where I want to express pain or fear. So most of my songs are directly connected with a feeling of myself, or a thought, or an experience I want to process with it. But more and more, I also inspired by stories of others. And on my upcoming studio album, I have also 2 songs where I heard a story and I thought, oh, maybe that would be a great song. This story would be a great song. And it was a new experience for me to write about something and not from myself. Yeah.
And this is a little bit off kilter question, but I am curious because it sounds like you're just you love the arts as a whole. But if you were not playing music and writing music, what would you be doing? Do you have anything else that like you have a hobby that like, oh, maybe if I wasn't playing music, I would pursue that?
And nothing? No, joke. Well, music is a big part of my life, so I think it's like a little bit like a disease. You are 24/7 into making music, or doing something for music, or thinking about music, or recovering from music. It's like the whole time music in your head. But of course, yeah, I have hobbies also, but actually I don't know which one. Reading and listening to music.
Well, it's good to know that you're so invested in it and that you love it so much that you really don't have a backup. I don't always get to hear that, so that's super lovely. But now I want to hop into the music that you currently have out. You have a good amount of music out right now on streaming platforms and everything for people to listen to online. But your latest one is what I really wanted to talk about because I've been listening to it a lot. I believe it's "Hello, My Heart" is the song. And this one really encompasses everything that that we've mentioned in this interview with the uplifting, inspirational thing. It's got a lot of great production value, and it's got a beautiful vocal performance from you too. What was the process of writing that song, and can you expound upon maybe what are some of the themes and what is that song about to you?
This song is, to be honest, one of the hard-working releases I ever had, and it is really such a beautiful journey. I came up with "Hello, My Heart" I think 1 year ago, as I was sitting at home here at the piano, and I was sad on this day, and the melody just came up. I played on the piano, and the words came like, "Hello, my heart, spread your wings and fly up high. You're strong enough, and you can go alone and go and go and go." And I was singing it like 1 hour and playing it like 1 hour, and afterwards I felt good. And so I wrote it down, and I take it with me on the tour, and I sang it with all people together, and then I came up with more lyrics, and then it was the song. And for me, it was it was clear that I want to have this as the first single of the album. And I think we really worked like 6 months on it because, there was a first version where I thought it would be a piano song with a huge orchestra. And then we did this, and I thought, oh no, it sounds like we have to change everything. And then we started at zero. And my producer was super cool, and he said, yeah, sometimes this happens. And then we started a second round, and I asked my band to play the drums and the guitar, and then it became a totally different version. But this was the version I really wanted. It was uplifting and powerful, and it's deep, and it has a really strong message, because you ask what Hello My Heart is for me, and Hello My Heart is a song about connection. It's about connection to myself and to others. And it's a tribute to the own heart and self. And it's about the courage to show yourself who you really are, and to open up all facets of life, whether it's vulnerability or strength. And in the moment, you show yourself who you really are, and allow to be yourself as you are, and to allow other people to be how they are. Connection happens between us and myself. And I think that's the essence of life.
Heard that on the music. Well, it's definitely a great song, and just like you said, it sounded like the production was fun too. But I want to talk about now the music video that you have for that too, because the music video is a lot of fun, and it's got a lot of people dancing. You have an eclectic, very diverse group of people doing dances in that, and there was one gentleman that really stood out to me. Was the man that had a bunch of tattoos all over him and like on his face and stuff, and he was lifting weights. It was really great. It's like, because the song is so much about like being yourself and everything. I thought that really drove home with all the different facets of people's life and the way that they kind of choose to express themselves. But what was the process of making that video like? And did you craft the idea, or like did you get with a director and they came with you with this idea and you're like, oh, that fits so perfectly?
So the original idea, maybe it would be surprising, but maybe it's not surprising. We had to shoot the video during Corona, and I was super sad because the founder, or the creative director behind the idea, she had a really strong concept of that we are like 60, 70, 80 persons on set performing all together, Hello My Heart. And then Corona was coming, and it was like, okay, cool, we can do nothing with that. And we worked on that concept like 2 or 3 months. So same as in the music production, and it was really, really sad. And then we had to skip we had to destroy the idea, and then she said, okay, maybe we can film one person by one. And I had a great editor who cut them all into the sets. So the different persons become a whole team because of the similar backgrounds, and we had such a great cast, which was unbelievable, because they are so different types, and it was full of diversity, and that was me and the team very important, that we have a diverse cast and different persons, and we would love to have 60 more, but that was not possible.
Heard that. Well, I think either way you look at it, the music video was great. I think it works even better too, seeing everyone that's like and dancing at the different times and everything. It made for something visually very interesting, and like you said, it really drives home the point of that song. And that song is on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, all the streaming platforms. But I won't take that thunder away from you announcing where to find that for people. So how can people keep up with you on social media?
You can, everybody is invited to follow me on Instagram at Anne Eck Music, and also on Facebook at Anne Eck Music, and on Spotify Anne Eck, and on my webpage at anneeck.com. And you can find the video on YouTube.
Lovely, lovely. Well, Anna, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure talking to you. You are a wonderful, wonderful personality, and you're extremely talented, so I appreciate that. But before we go, I have one more question for you. I don't know if you've ever watched a Big Bang Radio Spotlight before, but I am a big movie fan along with a musician, and I feel like artists of all walks of life have a strong connection to film because music is so tightly wound with music that I feel like people really have a soft spot for it and look at in a different way than most other people. So, Anna, before we go, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite film?
Yes, ma'am.
I would say I think the English name is it The Untouchables? The Untouchables?
The Untouchables? Yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I love that movie because it's also about connection, and it's also about opening yourself up. And he opens up and the other person opens up and connection happens. So this is the essence of life.
Thanks to Anna for sitting down with me and talking all about her music. If you want to see more interviews just like this, you can go to facebook.com/Studio67NCC, youtube.com/NashComCollege, or you can find us on Instagram at Studio67NCC. Thank you all for watching. I'm Isaac Anderson, and until next time, stay lovely.